We just came home. She's on the kitchen floor. I took her son and my daughter outside. Her husband is inside with her now.
So the husband attacked her?
No. We just came home.
You came home and found her injured on the floor?
We found her in the kitchen. She's not moving. I took the kids and I walked outside. I didn't know.
So does she look like she was beaten or what?
She has blood all around her. I didn't look. I grabbed the child and left.
In a quiet suburb of Cleveland, Ohio, the brutal murder of beloved teacher Melinda Pleskovic shocked the neighborhood to its core.
So what happened that day that would lead you to do this? Because you don't seem like the type to do it.
I didn't do anything.
Jeffrey Scullin, who was engaged to Melinda's daughter, was swiftly arrested and condemned in the court of public opinion. Every headline, every broadcast painted him as the cold-blooded killer. But what if we told you there's more to this story than meets the eye?
Is he ever, you and him, issues ever?
We don't fight, but we don't, nothing physical.
Nothing ever physical?
No, never.
Right, I would have probably.
We're good, we always make up, we're good, we've been great forever.
Gotcha.
Is Jeff the type of person that would be upset or be physical or violent in any way? Have you ever seen him?
I've never seen him get like that.
Has Jeff ever gotten physical with Anna that you've known of?
No, I wouldn't even think that a little bit.
When his loved ones vehemently vouched for his innocence, what led investigators to declare him guilty? Dive into this crime, where there were more facts waiting to be uncovered, and another possible culprit. Piece by piece, we will peel back the layers of this disturbing case, leaving you with unsettling questions, and a suspect who fits the profile of a killer all too well. Much of the footage you're about to see has never been revealed to the public before. The series of interrogations will start with Melinda's husband, Bruce Pleskovic. High school sweethearts and best friends, their bond was undeniable. Then we'll bring in Jeffrey, who will be seen defending himself along with two other individuals who are very close to him.
So I got to work at 10 to 9. Well, then I worked since I came in late, I usually work till 4, but I work at 4:30. But it was kind of weird. I was at my desk, and that's when I got the test to meet me at the Brute Kettle. And if you saw the statement I wrote tonight, it makes no sense that Mel doesn't meet you at Brute Kettle. So I got to the Brute Kettle at, I want to guess 5:15, 5:30. And I said I'm at the Brute Kettle. Inside the Brute Kettle, just kind of walked in, didn't see her, kind of was waiting around in the front there. Because it makes no sense. We were there the night before. Why would she want to go there again?
According to Bruce, Melinda texted him to meet at the Brew Kettle, the same place they had been the night before. But Melinda never showed up. Why? Was she killed at that exact time? Could the text Bruce received have been sent by the killer? If we assume Jeffrey is responsible for Melinda's death, then why wasn't her phone found in his possession? These unanswered questions cast significant doubt on the integrity of the investigation. After Melinda failed to show up, Bruce shopped at Walmart and headed to the rec center gym before meeting Jeffrey.
What are you guys talking about at Applebee's?
What are we talking about? The wedding, a little bit. I'm tired of, I'm just I just want this thing, let's get it going and get it over with. At this point.
Did you guys talk about Mel at all?
Yeah, we were concerned we talked a lot about why isn't she answering the phone, like I said before, and why she isn't getting back to texts.
When the detective questions Bruce, he suddenly mentions being concerned and worried. Now, let's hear about how he discovered Melinda's body.
So you essentially arrived together, then did you walk into the home together?
Yeah, we were at the door trying to open the door and unlock it with the keys that Anna gave Jeff. And so Jeff's knocking, then he rang the doorbell like 5 or 6 times.
Why is he knocking on the door if he has the key from Anna?
Because I have a feeling the key, that's a good question. When Anna gave him the keys, was there 1 or 2? I couldn't tell what was in his hand.
Did you see him physically put a key into the door and not be able to get in?
Yeah, and somehow it wasn't working, so that's why he banged on it. But Kyle was able to unbolt it, and he's the one who let us in the house. And when he came to the door, it was, I didn't notice anything, it was a little different than maybe thing where I just I have all my bags all in my arms, like I always carry in, and just put them down there to the left. And I'm not sure what Jeff did. I think he came in and took his shoes off, and I think he had to go back out to the car or something.
When you guys come to the front door, he has the baby in his hand?
Yeah, he set the baby. He set the door. He set the baby in front of the door so she was kind of sticking out a little bit of the opening. Because I remember he kind of said something to Kyle, or kind of yelled at him, like not to shut the door because the baby's in there. And then I remember that. But then what happened right after that? I don't know. I kind of looked in the kitchen, and then I think I went back outside. I'm always like go in there, go back out, get this, go back. I am always like doing something. Actually, no. I went back to move the baby after he yelled at Kyle to me. I remember doing that. And then I don't know if he went back out. I don't know what. And then I'm trying to figure out where. I'm thinking, okay, where's Mel? I'm waiting for Mel. Usually she'll say something. Hey, sometimes you'll hear she'll say something, or maybe she's busy on something. And then that's when I noticed the one chair. One of our chairs was Kyle's chair, which is right here in the front, was actually over here and laying down on the ground in front of the dishwasher. And that's when I walked in, and I'm like, that's when I looked over to the left, and I asked her if I asked Mel if she was. I couldn't believe the picture that happened right there. I was stunned. And then I noticed there's blood, and then there's blood by her face. Mel, she was face first. I thought maybe she slipped and fell and thing. So I went this way, and I just kind of leaned down there. I didn't know what to do, and I'm looking, and I said, "Mel, are you okay?" I wanted to hold her, but then I'm realizing there's chunk.
Bruce found Melinda's body on the kitchen floor and was seemingly in shock at the sight. After leaving Applebee's, both Bruce and Jeffrey went straight home. Jeffrey didn't have a key as he had given it to his fiancée, Anna, earlier, so Kyle, Anna's brother, who was home, let them in. That's when they made the horrific discovery. The 911 call was made shortly after that by none other than Jeffrey, who informed the police about this discovery. In the next clip, we reveal the suspected murderer, the person all of Melinda's family pointed to. Pay close attention, as this shadowy figure was never questioned by detectives.
Who do you think would have done something like this to Mel?
Well, I put this guy, Mark Cerner, on this list.
Mark Cerner?
Mark Cerner. His nickname's Spaz. He'll burn bridges, and he has a history of burning bridges with some people, with friends. I don't know about this, but you find it. I know him enough to know, and you hear it, and I just kind of, whatever. He says things. He gets in people's personal lives and situations. He always has his opinion of comedy. Kind of crosses the line, goes in deeper. So he's doing that with me and Mel, and it's like he's texting her a lot, me a lot, just, really weird.
Saying what?
There's some text that I had to delete.
What kind of text would you have to delete?
He sends these 4, just things. I found out how, he would get into it with Mel about, I don't know, about teaching. Mel's a teacher. He's always talking. The thing is, he's always domineering the guy, and he'll go along, but then he'll butt heads with you, and he'll say this and that. Well, he was up at the 4th of July. He was always talking, just getting really angry with
What was he saying to Mel?
Well, the last ones was something about when he was really mad, when we kind of just were done and it was getting worse. Just calling her a liberal, like, you're a Libby, and just, like, sending these rapid fire texts that are very short. And then he's sending me stuff too about, he says, he'll say something like, fine donuts, just something just bizarre and weird. And one of them was, I'm f***ing off. I deleted all this crap, but if you have to pull it back out, it's like, after that, I was just like, me and Mel had an agreement, this is kind of avoidable. Just not, the time would go by, and then he'd come back and want to hang out or just start messing, sending stuff. And it's like, that's when we had to say, just Mel had to tell him, don't delete all his contacts, or would he have someone come over and is he that angry and spiteful? My buddy Joe said You got to watch out. He might do something to like your property or something.
There we have it. Spaz, aka Mark Cerner, had been harassing Melinda with inappropriate texts to the point where she had to block him on all social media. His spiteful nature is evident in this part of the interrogation. Joe, a mutual friend, had previously warned Bruce that Spaz could cause serious harm. This adds a troubling layer to the case. Bruce's revelations gave us a glimpse into Spaz's character, but the key question remains. Did he have a motive to kill Melinda? Our goal is to debunk this theory, and from the judge's chair, with all the evidence laid before you, the truth becomes undeniable. Spaz had no income and wanted to move into the Pleskovic basement, but Jeffrey was already living there. His nature and potential involvement in the robberies fit the profile. So, did he have a motive to kill Melinda? In order to answer that, we need to bring in the key figure in this case, 20-year-old Jeffrey Scullin. Listen closely to his alibi, because when we bring in his fiancée and her sister, you'll be stunned by how eerily similar their stories sound. It begs the question, is it possible that Jeffrey was not the killer? Or was there something hiding beneath the surface?
Well, let me reintroduce myself, though. I'm Detective Stoltz. Okay. I appreciate you coming here voluntarily and talking to me. You're free to leave at any point or stop the questioning at any point. You're not in any trouble. You're not under arrest. I'm here just to try to piece together what happened.
Someone put 2 nails in his tire, but his tire was flat when he came back in the car and it moved. Mm-hmm. So someone walked up and put the nails in. And then we were talking about the break-in and the attempted break-in thing and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. We were just talking, trying to speculate what was going on. We were all blaming a different neighbor and stuff like that. I think it's the girl next door, Laura, her son.
Tell me about the morning. What time did you wake up?
Probably 10:25, because Anna had to be at work at 10:40. So she woke me up to get up and watch the baby.
What is your baby's name?
Aurora.
Aurora. How do you spell it?
A-U-O-R-A.
How old is Aurora?
A year and 5 months, a year and 6 months, give or take. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with that stuff. Around 1, Mel came home. I don't know the exact time. She didn't tell me she was coming home. She just kind of showed up. So I left. No, I didn't leave. I'm skipping ahead. I'm sorry, I'm really tired.
It's okay. What time does Kyle get home?
Exactly 3 o'clock. So I walked out at around 2:56, 2:57, and the bus was already there. Mel pulled in, and she's like, "Hey, what is up?" Say hi.
What time? How long were you guys outside before Mel came home?
No more than 5 minutes, if that.
Okay, so she came home shortly after 3.
Yeah. And then I had the baby ready to go because I was going to my Aunt Jeannie's. I don't know if I gave the one officer her information and everything, so you could call and ask if you need to.
What time did you leave then?
Right after. I just walked in and grabbed the baby.
So as soon as Mel came home, you left right away?
Literally, right away.
You ran out of gas on Drake Road. Do you know where at on Drake?
Within view of Gecko? There was a nice man who stopped. I pulled out an umbrella, this little umbrella. I was going to walk with the baby carriage and the thing. I couldn't find my phone. I didn't know where it was. But I was going to walk. The plan was, but someone stopped and asked if I needed help. And I gave him $10, and he went and filled the gas can up and brought it back. He was very nice.
So he fills them up?
I figure worst case is he steals my gas tank and $10. Okay. Best case is he came back, and he seemed like a really nice old guy. He had red Lincoln, and he pulls up and asked if I was okay.
And then you go to your aunt's?
Yes.
On Abigail?
On Abigail Lane.
Is anybody home?
Yeah, Jeannie was there.
Okay. Do you know what time you get there now? How long does all this take? You left shortly after 3. What time do you think you got to her house?
Probably 4:30.
That's a long time.
I was stuck there for forever. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't find my phone. I thought something was wrong. I turned around and Mel was laying down.
So you went in, you went to the right for the baby? You didn't look?
Well,
is that what you said?
I looked, but I didn't see. I just looked for the little carrier because I was afraid something was wrong with her.
Jeffrey left the house after conversing with Melinda, who informed him that she wouldn't be able to meet his mom because of her doctor's appointment. He later narrates the incident of how his car broke down and he had to ask an old man for help. It's also important to note that Jeffrey encouraged the investigators to cross-check every detail he offered. an unusual move for someone actually guilty, as perpetrators typically don't show so much confidence.
Did you call 911?
I think he called as well, but I'm not sure.
Were you outside when you called 911?
Yes, I ran straight out to the truck. It was rain when I was making my way to the truck.
We talked a little bit at the house. There's weapons in the home.
Yes.
Those are your father's?
Yes.
When did you bring those into the home?
The other day. Yesterday.
And why did you bring those in?
Because I didn't want to drive around with them in case I got pulled over. That's the only time they were in the house.
Why did he ask you to take them?
He didn't ask me to take them. We were going to the gun show in that car.
And why wouldn't you just put them back in his house?
I never got a chance to stop back over there. You could check them all. None of them have been fired or anything. And then there's a hunting knife in there as well. You could test all of them. Go ahead.
And when was the last time you fired a gun?
I fired a gun? Not in a few weeks. Probably a month or two.
2-3 months?
Yeah. I have handled weapons that he has shot, though. I'm saying there might be stuff on my hands from that. I don't know how long it stays on or anything like that.
Jeff, but you said you were afraid to drive around with those guns. The other ones you took inside, and why would you not take this one inside?
I did not intentionally take those guns, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining things well. I'm very tired.
Jeff, let's go back to when your car breaks down. It's just an awfully long time to be on Drake Road for an hour and a half. And so when you say...
Was I there for an hour? I wasn't there for an hour and a half. I was there less than that.
But you're there for an hour. You said you were there for an hour and a half.
That's bad, I guess.
So, really long time, and then you tell me you can't find your phone.
I didn't have my phone. I didn't know where it was.
So you couldn't find it.
I know, but I'm saying okay. Like I didn't physically have it.
Okay, but you could get it. You just got to go to the back, you said, and grab it.
Yeah, but I didn't know if I left it at the house or what. Like I was looking, and then when I finally, when the nice man got me some gas, and I got to the gas station, I sat down, looked in the car, looked everywhere, opened the back door, reached back, looked through all that.
How long were you sitting there before that guy came and helped you?
Maybe 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes.
And nowhere in that 20, 30 minutes did you want to go see if you left your phone at the house or go to check the car?
I didn't have gas.
No, what I'm asking though is, I said it wrong. In that 20 to 30 minutes, you didn't want to check your car to see if you left the phone at the house?
I looked around, but I didn't want to hop out on Drake and open up both doors with cars.
But even describing those seats, knowing that it drops down there and where it ends up, would be pretty...
I mean, I looked around, I didn't see it. Like the way... I guess I could have done it better. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining things right. I'm very tired.
In the process of eliminating the people that were there on the scene, would you take a polygraph test?
What's that?
A lie detector test.
Sure. Actually, you know what? Wait. I'll talk to my mother about it first, but I guess I'd be open to it. I thought those things don't work.
They're very accurate.
Oh. Never mind. I just go off stuff I saw on TV.
Okay. Do you have any involvement in Mel's death? Any knowledge?
No.
Of anybody? No?
Besides being there.
Who do you think would do something like this?
She's nice. She's well liked. She's a teacher. Everybody knows her and loves her. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, we do butt heads every once in a while. Like, we yell at each other about little stuff, but it's like, who doesn't? If I had to say someone who did it, I would probably say the person that tried to break in the other day. There's a police report about that. Someone tried to open the door while I was there. Or do you want, I don't know. What? Bruce gets all mad sometimes, when he drinks, but he wasn't drinking or anything today, I don't think. That's the only thing I can think of. She's told us a few times if he comes home, when he's drinking, just to leave or call the cops and stuff. But I really doubt he would do that. He really loves her. I think he really cares about her. But everyone, she's great. I don't know anyone who would hurt her. She's a teacher.
What seems odd to me is when you heard Bruce screaming, you said initially you were afraid it's the baby.
Yeah.
But you come in, you go to the scream, so you're looking for Bruce, number one. And then
I was more concerned with the baby because Kyle's...
Well, you're assuming that you're wondering if it's the baby, and you're going to... Bruce is screaming, so he must see something with the baby.
He just screamed once. He wasn't constantly screaming, if that's what you're trying to say.
So he screamed. Yes. You're worried about the baby, so you're going to go to Bruce because you're assuming the baby's by him, right?
I was just looking for the baby. That's all I got to say, I guess. I wanted to make sure my daughter was safe.
There's no way, Jeff, there's no way you could see him, see that he's there, and then go to the right without seeing Mel. There's no way. Especially in a small kitchen like that.
I don't know. I just didn't. I don't know what you want me to say.
Oh, it's just not believable. It's impossible to walk in that house, to look over and see Bruce, the guy that yelled, and not like, what's wrong? And then there's no way you can miss that. Yeah, I definitely having a hard time with a couple parts of your story, but...
what parts are you having a hard time with?
Well, like I said, Drake Road, there's an awful long time to be there. And then it's so difficult for me to understand you looking over and not seeing anything. So real quick, again, not any trouble, you're free to go. We're just going to talk, go over everything, see if we missed anything. We're looking for help from anybody. So right now we don't have anything that is concrete, is the best way to put it. So when we do, we'll tell you and the family.
Here are some key factors to consider. Firstly, whenever the detectives challenge Jeffrey's statements, he confidently urges them to cross-check everything, even suggesting they test his DNA. Secondly, Jeffrey displayed no signs of nervousness or hesitation when asked to take a lie detector test. Thirdly, Anna previously mentioned knowing about the guns, and Jeffrey even encouraged them to check all the bullets. Finally, if Jeffrey were truly guilty, this would have been the perfect opportunity to mention Spaz and redirect the police's focus toward him. And most importantly, the detectives didn't find any clues or evidence pointing to the murder until their second visit to the crime scene. Could someone really have used this time to meticulously set everything up to frame Jeffrey?
And you just talked about, or mentioned the attempted break-in at that door. Tell me about that. So,
I was in the kitchen doing dishes. The big dog, the big black dog, I don't know if you met him, he's Joey, big black. He was laying next to the door, and the cats, they jump on the door when they want to be let in, they jump on this glass door and it kind of wiggles a little bit, it makes a noise.
Yeah. They're outside.
So they're outside half the time, inside. So I just thought it was the cats, and then, it made a big noise, and the dog ran over and started barking like crazy, and when I rounded that banister thing, I saw the guy's hand. And I realized someone was trying to get in. It was just a white, hairy hand. That's it.
When you say is the hand outside pulling on the door, or is
it was inside, like they were reaching for a lock or something? Like can I use your clipboard?
Yeah.
Like if this is the door here, and that's like the top of the silver lock on the sliding door, it was like this, and he was pushing it. Like, I don't know if you thought you could reach in and flip a lock or something.
To think of somebody who, is evil enough to do it, it's... Who could do something like that?
I mean, anybody who knew her. I mean, she's the greatest person. Like, granted, everyone has arguments. Me and Bruce had an argument the other day. We were cool the next day. Mm-hmm. But I don't get how anyone would be able to do that. Like,
yeah, you don't see that.
I've never seen anything like that.
It's rare when it's that brutal. She's that brutally attacked.
I haven't even been not even really a part of the family that long, and people.
And she took you in.
Yeah,
I mean, did you consider her mom?
Yeah, I mean, I never called her mom, but she basically was. She helped me with a lot of stuff. She's great with Aurora. Aurora loves her.
Okay, so roughly you leave the house at 3:10 to go to your Aunt Jeannie's.
I think so, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm just really bad.
I mean, I'm not looking for down to the minute, but can we agree? I mean, Kyle gets home, Melinda comes home, pretty much right afterwards, and then you get your stuff ready.
As soon as she walked in, I left, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. That happens all the time, though, where, like, one person will walk in, just kind of can't stay by himself.
But we know Kyle got home, and she came home very shortly after. She's right there.
Would have been 10 or 15 minutes.
The way Jeffrey speaks about Melinda and acknowledges what she has done for him suggests that he held her in high regard. But in the end, Jeffrey was in fact convicted for this crime, and the upcoming clips will show you one of the key pieces of evidence that helped the detectives to hold him responsible.
Did you know I talked to your Aunt Jeannie?
Yeah.
Did she tell you what we spoke about?
No.
She didn't?
We were there last night.
Okay, did she tell you my conversation with her?
No.
Did you tell your Aunt Jeannie that Moose bit the guy and there was blood everywhere?
I did do that because my mother and father don't like the dog.
So you lied to your aunt?
I did. I said it to my parents too. You can ask them.
Okay, so that didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Someone tried to get your house.
The door moved and everything, though.
Jeff, you said you saw a hand. Let's get this part straight.
You saw him run away.
That's what I saw.
Mm-hmm. So your aunt didn't share our conversation. So let me tell you a little bit more about it. You didn't get to your aunt's until 6 o'clock.
I'm sorry, what? I saw somebody.
Okay, it didn't happen. Jeff, do you know where I'm going with this?
I do, but I would never.
Where am I going with this?
You're probably gonna say that I did it, right?
Do you know what time Melinda really got home that day? Because it wasn't at 3 like you said.
It's whenever she got home. I don't know.
Let me just tell you this. It was much later than what you're telling me. Melinda doesn't come home when you say she comes home.
What time did she get home?
Doesn't matter. It's much later than what you're telling me. So remember when we first talked, I questioned you, you looked a little irritated about how long, even at that point, when I didn't know as much as I know now, and you said you left at 3. When they came home, you left right away. You said you didn't get to your aunt's until 4:30. And even I questioned that. I said, it's an awfully long time from Blazing Star to Abigail is roughly, what? How many miles?
I've never
4?
GPS'd it.
5? So I questioned it. You seemed aggravated that I would even question it. I said, that's an awfully long time to get from point A to B, run out of gas, when someone came and helped you 20 to 30 minutes after you broke down. So now, not only is the hour and a half, now the hour and a half becomes 3 hours. 3 hours from when you told me you left, and then by the time you get to your aunt's. So what happens in that time frame?
I left when she came home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if when she walked in the door, I walked out.
Jeff.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
You okay?
I'm shocked. I don't know what's... I didn't do
So,
anything.
let me tell you this. Let me just tell you this, okay? All right, listen to me.
Yes.
Okay, you're under arrest. Hear me out. You're under arrest, okay, for the murder of Melinda Pleskovic. Okay? So, why don't you stand up, face away from me.
I didn't do anything.
Do you have anything on you that shouldn't be on you?
No.
No.
No, I don't.
Jeff, look at me, okay? Look at me. All right. What happened that day that would make you do something like this? Because you don't seem like the type to do this.
I didn't do anything wrong. She took me in. I never...
Right. That help me understand, help this family understand. Jeff, when I asked you, does this family get along? You said, yeah. You said it's a great family. You said they took you in. Melinda was paying for your wedding. We talked to a number of people. You know who's the most excited about your wedding? Melinda. Everybody we spoke to talked about how excited she was for you to marry her daughter.
I'm sorry. Can we move these around?
Are they?
Yeah, I'm like, my hands are hurting really bad.
Sure.
My shoulder was hurting.
Sure. You want something to drink?
I didn't hurt anybody.
Do you want something to drink? Would you like something to drink?
I'm okay.
Okay. everybody we spoke to, Melinda was very excited for your wedding. Okay, you brought her a granddaughter. So what happened that day that would lead you to do this? Because you don't seem like the type to do it.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Jeff, listen, you can make this better or worse.
Sir, I didn't do anything.
Okay, you must have a ton of pressure on you. And you could probably take a lot of this pressure off starting now to do the right thing and help everybody understand what happened that would lead you to do this.
I'm sorry, but I didn't do anything. I didn't hurt anybody.
But you did, and I want to understand why.
I didn't do anything. I didn't hurt anybody.
Jeff, you have an 18-month-old.
She's my world.
Daughter.
I would never.
Your world.
They wouldn't.
So do you
I would
want to
never
start?
see her again.
Do you want to start making this right so you can see her one day, or do you want to keep going down this path?
I'm not trying to go down a path. I didn't do anything, sir. I would never do anything.
Jeff, did something happen that day that just made you really angry really fast?
No.
Was Melinda an irritant to you about the wedding or anything like that?
No.
Did you guys have words that day?
Yeah.
And what happened?
We talked about little stuff, and then she went to the doctor.
What were the
What
were the things that Melinda would do that would sort of push your buttons, that would just get under your skin?
Just little comments, like she'd make comments, little insults. But whenever she did anything like that, I'd just go downstairs. I wouldn't.
How would she insult you?
Just like when she'd make comments about weight or anything like that. It's little stuff, nothing.
Right.
Jeff, okay. We have the murder weapon.
What's the murder weapon?
We have the knife. It has your DNA on it, and it has her blood on it. So how is that possible?
I don't know. I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't do anything.
Listen, Jeff.
I don't believe you intended to. I really don't. While we've investigated this, we've learned a lot about you as well. I don't know that you're a bad person, but something happened that day that really got you upset. What did Melinda do that got you so upset?
Nothing. We didn't even talk that much. We talked more about the baby than anything.
Yeah. Well, what happened that day that got you upset? Jeff, listen. We all have emotions. They all happen in different ways. Something made you very upset that day. Give us an explanation for that. Give us an understanding. I told you, we've been working on this case for a week now, and we understand you. I mean, I don't think you're a bad person. I talked to people you worked with at Berea schools. Okay? I've done a lot on this. What happened to Jeff that day? What got you upset? Because people have been telling me that you're not a bad guy.
I would never hurt her. If I got upset, I would just walk away like I always do. Mm-hmm. I never hurt anybody.
We're not talking about anybody, Jeff. We're talking about Melinda.
I never hurt Melinda. I never touched Melinda. That's my daughter.
Right. Do you want to see her ever again?
I do.
You want to see her again? This is your opportunity to see her again. If not, you're not going to see her again. Do you know the difference between premeditated murder and aggravated murder is?
No.
Because I feel that you planned this from the get-go. All that bullshit that we went out there, all the stuff going on with the alarms, you got the whole community in a tizzy. That's you. All right? So how do you want to make this better? Do you want to see Aurora or not?
I do.
All right? Because I tell you right now, we're going to go after the premeditated murder. And do you know what happens with that? The death sentence. You're not going to be around very long. Do you want that, or do you want to do the right thing and see her? You're telling me you didn't do it? Look at me, Jeff.
Sorry.
If the roles were reversed and I was sitting there, I would do everything I can to prove my innocence. Everything. Listen, you're not looking at me anymore. To do everything. You know where I would start? I offered you a polygraph the other day. Take a polygraph. Prove yourself. So do you want to take a polygraph?
My mom told me to ask her about all that stuff. I don't know.
You don't make decisions by asking your mom. Now, Jeff, you're under arrest for murder and you're an adult. You don't make decisions now by asking your mom. Okay, you're beyond that. You're way beyond that.
The police employ a strategy that aims at pressuring Jeffrey into confessing to Melinda's murder. They focus on a single inconsistency in his story to assert his guilt. In a deeply distressing move, the detectives emotionally manipulate Jeffrey by invoking the image of his young daughter. They tell him that if he doesn't tell the truth, he'll never see her again. How ethical is this? You will see now how the detectives use a polygraph test but don't really record the responses to convince Jeffrey that the results prove his guilt. It is a tactic they are using in the hopes of getting a confession from him.
We use an algorithm.
I'm not allowed to look at it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I want you to look. I want to show you the stuff. You know, there's no magic. There's no magic. You have probably 99.9. You have a significant reaction. Let me see. What are the questions you're having issues on? Okay. 5 and 7. Did you? Okay.
What was I having reactions?
You're having reactions to these red questions, which are the causing the injuries, knowing for sure. I want to take a look at the chart. And very large response here, not so large here, some there. Did you cause those injuries? Yeah, absolutely cause those injuries. Now what I want to do is get an understanding of why it happened. That's what we need to do, is what happened, what caused it, what did Melinda do that caused a response from you, what did you do? And so what I want to do is be able to move us towards this verification test, first and foremost to show that it's not an intentional thing. Was there a plan? It happened. And what I'm trying to figure out is why it happened, and to make sure that it wasn't a cold, calculated thing. I don't want people to draw.
I would never hurt anybody intentionally.
Okay, perfect. I would never hurt anybody intentionally. So, what caused it? What did she say or do?
I don't even remember. That knife was in the bag.
Okay, in the bag. And there were guns in the bag?
Yeah, but I never...
What did she do? Was the bag with you? Was it in the premise?
It was in the house, downstairs.
Okay. And downstairs is where you live, right?
Yeah, that's where we stay.
Okay. So, did you have the knife and gun upstairs, and then she said things or said something and a reaction? I mean...
I don't carry those around.
Okay.
They stay downstairs. And
right.
Go downstairs.
Right.
I recognize the knife.
Right. Well, let's talk about, we know what happened, okay? Let's talk about why and try to get an understanding that, because you said yourself, and I'm going to write this down, I never intentionally hurt her. Unfortunately, the situation happened. You know what? I would love to make it go away. I would love to make it go away. But we can't. And the way we move forward is helping everybody understand what's going on, okay? I mean, you have Anna, you love Anna. You have a daughter, okay? You want to maintain a relationship. You want to maintain a relationship for the rest of your life with your daughter. You want to maintain a relationship with Anna. How do we do that in this scenario, in this situation? By being truthful. You have all the marriage stress going on. I'm married. I know it's stressful. You got a brand new baby who you love dearly. You got a wife or a fiance, and you're living with the in-laws. That would show us a guy that's just scared to hell. You know what? Oh my God, I made a mistake. You know, this is my future. This is my wife's mother. She's generally a good person. I just couldn't take something that was said or something that she did. And that's what I want to test on. Because, you know why? If I can test on it, then it backs you. Otherwise, you know, people can draw whatever conclusions they want. And we don't want that. We want you to have a relationship with your daughter. We want you to have a relationship with Anna. When you and Anna fight, you kiss and make up, right? And I kind of metaphorically saying, it's the same thing. Obviously, this isn't quite the same thing, but the mechanisms towards reconciliation for who you are as a person don't ever stop. You make mistakes. Hey, I made a mistake. I want to move forward. You know, I don't like it. This is not who I am. I'm scared of the future. I want us to have a future together. I'm deathly afraid of that. That's fine. But you can't run from it. You can't hide from it.
I'm trying to run. I just
Because
don't know.
where are you right now? You're sitting in an orange jumpsuit. Okay. Why? Because all the evidence is there. There's guys up there that say, why would you even spend your time talking to that guy? Who gives a damn? You got all the evidence in the world. Did you see what happened? You know, and you're like, wait a minute. That's not the global person. Maybe that's a social worker in me. Maybe that's a person who cares. Maybe that's a person who sees the goodness in you. I do, and other people do. Anna does. Write a letter to Anna. Tell her you're sorry. Explain it. You don't have to go into graphic detail, but tell her this is not who you are.
I don't remember doing anything. I remember leaving and getting gas. I don't understand.
Right, I don't remember. I
I
understand.
don't understand.
Well, let's talk about blackouts then. I don't remember hurting her. I don't remember leaving the house. So,
I left the house though. I left the house and she walked in like any other day.
you did leave the house. You didn't leave the house with her how she walked in. What are you most scared of?
Never see my daughter again.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about that. Then let's talk about that. That's a very fair thing to be scared of. Okay? How do you take control of the situation? Can you change the past? Can you change the past?
No.
No, exactly. I can't change the past. There's things in my life that I've done that I regret, and I'll regret to the last day of my life. But you know what? What do people do when they make decisions they regret? They don't want to go back there. Okay? They say what? I'm sorry. I did make a mistake. Okay? You can't make a person forgive you, but you can give them everything, every opportunity. You can never quit on them. Okay? And that's what you need to do with your daughter. You need to give her the truth. You need to never quit on her. You will be able to see her. You will be involved with her in her life. But if you alienate Anna, I can't control Anna. You owe Anna the same thing. You've got to tell her the truth. You've got to level with her. You've got to tell her what went on and why. You know, if it's something so callous that I hated Melinda and I planned out for weeks to kill her and then I killed her. Well, yeah, I don't think Anna's going to be forgiven of that. I don't think a lot of people would be. But as I believe, this is a mistake. This is an isolated situation, an argument ensured. Something happened that caused a reaction. Something inside of you that said, I've had enough of this. I'm tired of being disrespected. And you reacted. It wasn't the best day. It wasn't the best thing to do. But tell people. Tell people, let them know the truth. That you're a human being. We're going to write a letter to them. Well, I'm going to have you write a letter to your daughter and your wife and telling them the truth.
I don't remember. I know that stuff is downstairs.
Right. How do you define who you are? By being truthful. Letting Anna, letting your beloved daughter know the truth. Not making a spectacle of yourself, not putting any more pressure on them, and helping them. And you know, by helping them, you know who else you help? You help you. Because you know what? They're still going to love you. They're not going to be happy with you, but they're still going to love you.
Can I have a minute to myself?
Sure. Okay, I'm going to walk out for a few minutes, okay? Think about it, talk about it, get your head straight, and we'll come back and work on those letters. Okay.
My head's killing me.
Yeah. What do we want to say to Aurora? What do we want to say to Anna? Let's tell them. Let's do a letter to them and let them know what happened and why. Dear Anna?
Aurora, what's Aurora?
Okay, dear Aurora, okay. I want to make sure I spell her name. A-U-R-O-R-A.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I love you very much.
I remember being mad. I just don't remember doing anything else.
Okay. In reference to Aurora. Dear Aurora, I love you very much. Do you want to tell her how you feel?
Yeah.
Okay. I love you so much. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to apologize? I'm so sorry. You don't want to apologize?
No, I do.
Okay.
I think I did do something bad.
What?
I just can't remember.
Okay. Well, how about we phrase it that way and we'll talk about it. I am so sorry for doing something bad.
In this gripping moment, the detective repeatedly brings up Jeffrey's fiancée, Anna, and his younger daughter, Aurora, to escalate the emotional strain. The strategy hits its mark. Jeffrey, who deeply cherishes his daughter, is overwhelmed with fear at the thought of never seeing her again. The love he has for Aurora is so profound that it drives him to the brink. Terrified that his repeated assertions of innocence might lead to him losing access to his daughter forever, he is cornered into a heart-wrenching decision. Jeffrey takes a long, anguished pause, grappling with the impossible choice forced upon him by the police's manipulative tactics.
You would never mean for Melinda to die or to get hurt, right?
No.
Okay. Well, here, I would never purposely hurt Melinda like that. I never intended her to die. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you want to put this part in there. Ultimately, we got to talk about this part, and we can. You know, between you and I, we can. I don't know if you want to put this with Aurora, because that might be a little too graphic, is, you know, about the stabbings or the shootings. You know, we have to address that so we can move forward. Hey, look, you know, obviously you were angry. I get it. You never had any intention for her to show it's not a premeditated thing. It's not a planned out thing. You know, I got mad and I shot and stabbed her, or I shot her, or I stabbed her, or I pulled out a gun. I didn't think there was any bullets in it, and then it did, and it went off. You know, I didn't realize it went off, and it did. Maybe the gun just popped. It just went off. It went off because ultimately you pulled the trigger. You and I both know that. But if your intention was not to shoot her, I was just so mad when I grabbed the gun, it went off, and I didn't plan on shooting her. Then let her know that. Melinda got shot. That's never going to go away. That's never going to change. Tell her the truth. Is that a fair representation?
Yes.
Okay.
She went downstairs and found that stuff, I'm pretty sure, or she was looking through stuff.
Oh, okay.
She also had a piece of paper that Aurora might not have been mine for the longest time.
What's that? Oh.
An infidelity committed on Anna's
Okay.
part,
Okay.
which was an iffy subject with me and Anna.
Okay. So she's in your room. She finds the gun that ultimately was used, that was used in the shooting. She found the knife. She found the knife because it was with the gun. She found a paternity test.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the paternity test shows that you're the father.
Yeah.
Okay. This creates a lot of anger in you, as you said. It makes me mad. And, you know, maybe you grabbed the gun and then it went off. Is that what happened? Is that when you grabbed the gun and it went off?
Yes.
Okay. What was the reason for that? That's what I want to understand. That's what we need to let Aurora know.
She picked it up and kind of didn't necessarily point it at me, but pointed it near me.
Oh my God.
It wasn't at me.
So she was threatening you. You took
She
it
was
as a...
screaming at me.
Okay.
I didn't know it hurt so bad.
Okay. So she's screaming at you. She picks up the gun, points it in your direction. What do? Do you grab it from her?
That's where I don't understand.
Well, you got it somehow.
Got it, I think.
What's
I
that?
just reached up and grabbed it.
Okay. I reached up and grabbed it. And that's when you responded and it went off? So you felt threatened by her?
For a minute, yes.
Okay, okay. I felt threatened by her. And that's what made you, is that what made you so mad?
No, she was yelling, Aurora isn't yours, Aurora isn't yours.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Trying to answer it all.
Okay. Have you told me the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you hiding anything?
Sorry.
Are you trying to minimize any involvement or anything else?
Is that what
You're trying to. I'm sorry, my mistake. Are you trying to hide what happened? Okay. And once again, that was not a planned out thing. You didn't plan this 3 weeks earlier, a year earlier.
No.
Okay. Okay.
As the FBI agent continues narrating their version of events, it feels like they're trying to force words into Jeffrey's mouth, pressuring him to confess to a crime he insists he didn't commit. But there's something critically off. Jeffrey never actually says he shot Melinda. Despite the intense pressure, he doesn't confess.
Sure.
Do you remember texting Bruce for him to meet Melinda somewhere?
No.
Using her phone? Why do you say you might have used her phone?
Everything was all blurry for the longest time. I couldn't. Still having trouble trying to figure out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
What's not real and what's real, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I could help you out with what's real and not real.
The polygraph test makes him believe that he really did something, leading him to say that he's now having trouble differentiating what's real and what's not. The officers, however, didn't find any evidence that Jeffrey texted Bruce, and the CCTV footage and the murder weapon they claimed to have found were only discovered much later. There are so many inconsistencies in this case that it made people question the detective's tactics. Jeffrey's friends were shocked and questioned the authenticity of the investigation, suggesting that there might be something more sinister at play. Let's now turn to those family members, including his fiancée, Anna, whose statements strongly paint the picture that the crime does not align.
Great. Nice to meet you.
Well, we appreciate you coming in. Okay.
Anything I can do.
Yeah. Like I said, you're not in any trouble.
I know.
I don't know what you told other officers, so we're just going to start with your father and like with Jeff. Just tell me about your day yesterday. We're going to start in the morning. Okay, just go from the morning to
Very simple with me.
Okay, from what I understand, and tell me if I'm correct, living in the home. Okay, with your father, mother.
Yes.
Jeff, who's your fiance?
Yes.
And you guys are...
There's like an apartment-style basement. We've been staying there.
Okay, I was down there.
Yeah.
So,
it's kind of messy, sorry.
and you guys are scheduled to be married on Saturday.
Not now.
Not now, I understand. And Kyle.
And the baby.
And the baby, Aurora.
Megan goes off to college, so she's like, sometimes.
And how long have you and Jeff and, well, now Aurora, how long have you
I've
lived?
been together since we were like 17.
How long have you lived with your parents?
I've never stopped living with them. Jeff moved in when I got pregnant. So like, end of 2015, beginning of 2016.
Okay. Was anybody living with Jeff when he lived in Elyria?
Oh, he didn't live in Elyria. It was just one of their rental houses. They owned a bunch of them. But he lives in Strongsville, Fair Road, or did, with his mom and his dad and his brother and sister.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I thought you said you lived in a rental.
No, they owned a bunch of rentals. We were going to live there.
Okay, I understand.
Broke into while we were working on it. We're like,
Gotcha.
no.
Yeah, and who, when you say, who does he own rentals with?
His parents.
Both of them?
Yeah, they all own a couple.
And does Jeff garner monthly income from those rentals?
What's garner mean?
Well, does he get money each month? Does he make money on?
I think he owns one or two of them himself now, so I believe
paid
so.
off? Do you mean, or just that he they're going to pay some rent?
I don't understand finances. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Does he make any money from it each month?
Yes.
Do you know? Okay. Do you know how much he makes?
No.
Okay.
Anna met Jeffrey in high school in 2015. After she got pregnant, Melinda asked him to move in with them. They were supposed to get married the same week Melinda got murdered. In the interrogation clip, you hear Anna mention that Jeffrey has his own income from rental homes. Make a mental note of this detail, as by the end, you'll see how this crucial piece of information was shockingly disregarded by the detectives, potentially altering the entire course of the investigation.
I understand you and Jeff were supposed to be married this Saturday, and where was the wedding going to be?
Skyview Lodge in Brunswick.
Okay. Expensive wedding?
We budgeted pretty good. It ended up being only $6,500. It was originally going to be like
total?
Yeah.
Has that been paid in full already to
Yes.
Skyview? Okay. Did your parents or his parents help you out, or did you guys have to the bill?
He had the money in cash, but he couldn't give it to her because they had a water tank at one of their rental houses broke or something. I don't remember, and he had to use some money to fix it. So we asked my mom, and she went and paid the night before yesterday.
Okay. And how much did he have to borrow from your mom?
She paid the full amount, and he was going to give her the rest.
Okay.
That's why she was going to Applebee's to meet with his mom, because his mom is an accountant, handles a lot of his money. She was going to bring it, and it was really weird that my mom wasn't going to show up.
Right.
And that's when I knew something might be wrong. We're all calling her like crazy and stuff.
Do you know what time they were supposed to meet?
It wasn't really established. They were just going to call each other after work, see what was up.
Anna also discloses another key detail to the police. The wedding payment, originally covered by her mother Melinda, became a source of tension. Jeffrey had used his own funds to fix a broken water tank in one of their rental properties and promised Melinda he would repay her. He even arranged a meeting at the Applebee's where Anna worked, bringing his mother and Melinda together to discuss the payment.
Jeff showed up right before 7. My dad showed up like 15 minutes later. Jeff was with the baby. She was asleep.
Now I understand at this point, were you trying to get a hold of your mom?
Yeah, I kept going in the back between tables and calling her because Jeff had originally texted me. I don't really remember when, but it was like maybe an hour before I got there, a half hour. He's going, I can't get a hold of your mom. Something about she's supposed to meet my mom. So I tried calling her, and it was just ringing and ringing, going to voicemail. After a few times, it was just going to voicemail. And every time I tried in between tables after that, I kept going straight to voicemail. And I remember talking to the cooks going, I can't find my mom. We can't find my mom. They showed up, and they were saying they still couldn't get a hold of my mom. And I'm like, we can't find my mom. And I got a little worried. I didn't think something horrible happened, because she runs into people she knows all the time. She's a teacher. Everybody's like, oh, Mrs. Pleskovic, I don't know where we go.
Yeah.
Was Jeff's mom there? Had she
No.
made it? She didn't show up?
My mom earlier in the day had apparently told Jeff that she couldn't meet her because she had to go to a doctor's appointment,
Okay.
which was weird. But she, so his mom wasn't coming. And then later, it's just weird that she wouldn't show up to collect money. So I don't know what went up with that. And then I called my dad, and my dad said, we can't find mom. I was like, he's like, I think I'm going to go up to the rec center and work out. And I was like, you should come up to Applebee's. Jeff says he's coming up. It was Jeff. And then later, Jeff messages me going, text me when you get cut. And I was like, I just called him instead because I had already been cut. I was like, hey, I just have a little bit. I'm just waiting to do my checkout. Like, you know, where you give them your money, calculate tips for the host and everything. And then he's like, he gave the phone to my dad, and my dad told me my mom had been stabbed a bunch of times, and I started screaming and crying out back.
When you came into the house, did Jeff or your dad say to you?
I got stopped by a police officer as soon as I got out of Nicole's car, and he said, I'm sorry for your loss. And I said, is she dead? And he's like, oh, I don't know. But I don't know, he was like hugging me and talking to me, and then he took me over to Jeff, over at the police line to the truck where the baby was in her seat, in the front seat with him and Kyle. And I think I saw my dad too.
Was that a uniform guy?
Yeah,
that met you and took
like the
you
whole
with?
police uniform.
Okay.
But he told me she's dead. And I was like, then I walked over and asked Jeff if she's dead. He said, we don't know. And I said, that guy said she was. But I don't know, just misinformation.
Sure.
Anna,
He was very respectful about it though.
while you're at work, I saw the text messages. There was nothing there earlier, but did you talk to Jeff on the phone? And do you know what he was doing throughout the day?
I talked to him later, but I didn't know what he was doing all day. Because I didn't really ask. So he told me he had to work. I don't know what he told me. Something about errands.
We understand that there's been some disturbances at your house.
Yes.
And
Well,
Jeff.
Everything really started when I was pregnant, and they were 14-year-old boys. I called the police on them. They're like all blonde. They were smoking weed and jumping on my trampoline. I said, you gotta get off. and they got mad and came back and jumped again. And the second time one kid tied his shirt around his head and came back like screaming and jumped on the trampoline and ran away. And I called the police. There's a big swim meet going on. I was like, somebody's not watching their kids. And they have pot, and they're in my yard on my trampoline, and nothing. The kids ran away before they got there. But then after we had Aurora, and she was like a month old, I recognized them. They came and were kicking on our back basement door, ran away, you know, all hiding at the playground, teenage prank stuff. But then it just got like, and then things started going missing, and I don't think kids would do that. Like, if I had like $10 laying on the counter and I went upstairs for a second, I'd come back, it was gone, and I'd be home alone. And this happened a lot. I had wallets go missing. I had to cancel my credit card and order a new one a bunch of times. But it really started with my dad's money envelope that he left with a bunch of money on the counter. I never saw it, but they said it was missing. We tore the house apart looking for it. And his bag and his laptop out of his car, he thinks.
And when the car alarms went off, and who was usually home? I mean, did it vary, or were you guys all home?
A few times when I was there, it was like me, my mom, Jeff, Kyle. And a lot of times it was all of us except Megan. And then a few times apparently when I wasn't at work, I don't know.
Did your dad or your mom or Jeff, what kind of precautions did they take? What changed at home?
They'd asked Jeff to take the fuse out, like the police officer showed them the first night, like so that the alarm would just stop going off. But we had the cameras set up a while ago.
Who put those up?
My mom ordered them, and she and Jeff put them up together.
And Jeff installed them? When did those go in?
Months ago.
Months?
Yeah. One of them got cut about a month and a half ago. No, after summertime.
Okay.
So we got tired of people kicking the door and being weird.
And did that stop things when the cameras were installed?
No.
No? Continue?
Sometimes they'd randomly be offline or just not working. Nothing big is missing. Mm-hmm. I mean, tools. Jeff had a bunch of tools go missing. I try not to think about it because it pisses me off too much when stuff goes missing.
So we had tools missing, we had money missing.
Tools, my dad's bags, my dad's wallets, my wallets, cash, keys.
Let's examine where the investigation may have gone wrong. After Jeffrey was charged, investigators assumed he was behind the burglaries at the house. But Anna revealed that during these break-ins, she, Jeffrey, and Melinda were all at home. If Jeffrey was responsible, why would he install security cameras and steal his own equipment and money?
Did Jeff or your dad tell you that they had a hard time getting into the house yesterday?
Yes.
They did? And what did they tell you?
He said all the doors were locked and the garage door wasn't working.
Okay. And is that unusual if the garage door doesn't work?
Yes. Usually the panel always works, but it wasn't yesterday.
The code.
So all the doors in the house were locked, and the garage code wasn't working yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that's what I hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't there.
Right. So did they say how they got in then?
Kyle let them in.
Okay. Just kept knocking until cop came.
Yeah.
If somebody came into the home that Kyle didn't know, how would he react?
He'd probably let them in.
Kyle, the youngest Pleskovic son, has Down syndrome and is nonverbal. He was home when Melinda was murdered.
Just assuming you're like the rest of us, the rest of our families, living under one roof, I'm sure you guys butt heads. Was there anything in the home unusual other than the normal living together and bump, heads every once in a while?
I think so.
Did everybody get along?
My dad and Jeff were yelling at each other the other night, but my dad got really drunk, and once in a while he does.
Sorry, you're fine. No, you're fine.
Once in a while he does this, and he doesn't remember anything, and he'll go off on somebody through text or phone, and he went off on Jeff, and they're fighting all night. They got over it.
Look at everybody, and what are your feelings? Do you have any feelings or any idea maybe who could do something like this?
Maybe the guy.
Okay, and how so?
He's he stinks, he's drunk, he's in everybody's face. Everybody's been talking about how he's doing coke lately. He shows up to parties and screams at people, freaks out, leaves, threatens people.
And what kind of threats?
I'm not really sure. My dad was saying, but he'll insult people, call him the N-word. Mm-hmm. If you don't buy him a beer, he calls you Jewish. It's just rude.
Have you seen him be violent?
I haven't seen it. I've heard everything.
Physical? Okay.
They call him Spaz. Spaz.
Yeah, your dad told me that.
Both Bruce and Anna have pointed their fingers at Spaz.
They came home, from what I gathered from our reports, your dad and Jeff arrived home together. Did they leave Applebee's together, or were they driving
at the
separate?
same time in separate cars, and my dad got there right before Jeff did.
Okay. So I remember, they were at the restaurant and they got a call about your mom?
No.
No, they just came home.
They just came home, yeah.
Gotcha.
I got a call later.
Okay, so they left in separate cars but arrived right at the same time.
I did. Jeff had the baby, and my dad was by himself.
Okay.
Did throughout the day, Anna, did Jeff or your dad tell you they have any car problems, trouble getting to your work?
Jeff told me on the phone that his car had not broken down, but ran out of gas or something over by his Aunt Jeannie's. But
you say it ran out of gas over by her house?
Yeah, but he got it fixed right away.
Okay. And what about your dad?
My dad had his tire blown on the highway, he said. And Jeff's been having interviews for welding jobs. He wants to do that instead.
When your dad and Jeff had a little spat, I guess, the other day.
It was all through text.
It was all through text? They weren't together when they...
No, my dad was out drinking.
Okay.
And Jeff was at home with me. Jeff stayed in the basement when he got home. They slept it off. They didn't run into each other the next day because they were busy.
Gotcha. So it was sort of a texting argument.
It all worked out. My dad apologized the next morning in a big text.
Okay. What about Jeff? Does he ever
He doesn't drink.
No.
Not much.
Does he have a temper?
He gets cranky, but that's about it.
Right.
It's like his face.
Yeah.
But he's okay.
Does he ever, you and him, issues ever?
We don't fight, but we don't, nothing physical.
Nothing ever physical?
No, never.
Right. I would have probably.
We're good. We always make up. We're good. We've been great forever.
Gotcha. Was there anything in the house you would consider weapons?
I mean, I don't know. I heard he had some guns down there. Like he had just gotten them from his dad. And there's no ammo.
Okay.
But that's all.
You said he had guns, but what about ammunition? Do you think no ammunition?
He always said he never would have ammo if he ever had a gun in the house. Because he wanted to get one for it when we move out and keep it in a safe just in case when we move out. And he's like, only use it if there's somebody in the house trying to hurt you.
Okay. Anything else in the house that you would consider, unusual or outside of normal household things?
I mean, like pepper spray, a couple pocket knives here and there, but they're just little.
Lots and lots of people carry concealed weapons for protection. Now, you can get
I know for sure he doesn't carry one around. He's always in shorts and a t-shirt. It'd be impossible to hide it.
Gotcha.
As you heard from Jeffrey earlier, on the day Melinda was murdered, Jeffrey left the house early and got stranded near a gas station due to car trouble. Also, what the police overlook is that Anna already knew about the guns Jeffrey owned. His family had gun safes, and he bought them for protection after multiple break-ins at the Pleskovic house. What was the point of sharing all these details with Anna if he was actually going to murder Melinda?
You mentioned that Dad was kind of up all night speculating.
Last night.
Last night is the word.
Half crying, half just repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
He's stuck.
Where would you say his mind's going as far as the speculating? What's he thinking?
Shock.
Right. But what's he thinking as far as who would have done this?
He keeps saying.
Be fun, huh?
And assumed that he would be able to. My dad's like, no, because he's loud, he's drunk, he stinks, he's bad. I heard he takes care of like an old person for free, and even that guy's fed up with him.
Okay.
I'm not sure where though, but He'd always come over and be like, "Where's that baby?" Sorry. He'd be like, "Where's that baby? I want that baby. I love that baby." And it creeped me out a little bit.
Yeah.
The he Anna mentions is no other than Spaz.
After the wedding, were you guys going to just keep living at the house, or do you have plans?
We are waiting on we actually bought a house at Crown Point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Seriously? Awesome.
So foreclosure, so it's taken a while to get the keys.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
So.
Did you, do you know who you financed that through?
Jeff.
Jeff to the financing? And do you know the address on Crown Point?
It's right at the end of the street, and it's like where Hunt meets Crown Point. It's a fenced-in backyard. I like the house a lot. It's.
How long did Jeff work for Berea for the schools?
3 years, 4 years.
Okay.
Did Jeff say where he got the money to pay for the house?
He made it with work and the rentals, and plus his parents kind of come from money.
Parents help him out, maybe.
Yeah.
You like his folks? Do you get along with them?
Yeah.
No,
his mom's friendly. They're always busy though, so I don't see him a lot.
Yeah.
His dad's a big guy. He's a little off-putting, but he's nice.
Yeah, I get you.
Just teddy bear.
You said that they're antisocial. Do they come to family events?
If my parents try to meet up with them, like, they're usually busy and they won't. And then my parents are like, "Oh, they're antisocial. They hate us." It's like, well, no, they just don't have free time ever. And plus, they're divorced now, and they don't like to be together. Right. They got divorced a little while ago.
So mom lives on Fair. Where's Dad live now?
I'm not sure where that house is, but he stops
around
in a
town
lot.
somewhere.
Yeah, I know it's like a good house. The baby stays there with them and stuff, but I'm not really sure.
Consider this critical point. Investigators argued that Jeffrey killed Melinda over financial disputes, claiming she caught him staging fake burglaries. But Anna revealed that Jeffrey had bought a house and earned a steady income from rentals. So why did the police insist on this motive? If this doesn't raise eyebrows, Anna's older sister, Megan's interrogation, definitely will.
There was a wedding this weekend. How was that going? The planning, everything going fine? Did they tell you? Or?
It was hectic. Last minute, they had some issues with the reservation of the space. Jeff had said that he was trying to pay in cash or use his card, but that they rent out houses, and there's something broke in one of the houses, so he had to pay to fix that instead of put the money down. So my parents ended up helping out, and then his mom was going to pay back my mom. So,
is Jeff the type of person that would be upset or be physical or violent in any way? Have you ever seen him?
I've never seen him get like that. And just based off people that I know from high school too, nobody's ever really seen him get like that. Mm-hmm. Usually if he gets, when you have that many people living in a house, arguments happen and stuff, but he would just go downstairs and shut it out. There was never really, nothing ever really got physical. Actually it never did, so.
Megan corroborates Anna's account of the burglaries, a detail left unnoticed. Anna had reported juveniles trespassing in their backyard before Melinda's murder. On one occasion, she was alone at home and witnessed two male figures attempting to break into the house.
Has Jeff ever gotten physical with Anna that you've known of?
No, I wouldn't even think that a little bit.
I think he's capable of being physical. Does he?
I've seen him yell, but I've never seen him snap by any means. Mm-hmm. Stuff that he yells about it's stuff that I think anybody would really kind of get fired up about, but he doesn't like to be told kind of what to do a little bit, which is kind of what caused a lot of the rift, because my parents were we need help around cleaning and all that kind of stuff, and he would offer to do things and then wouldn't do them and stuff, but I feel that's kind of just, he's also 19, so.
Why would both Anna and Megan defend Jeffrey? What motive could they have? Their statements speak volumes and raise questions that are hard to ignore. Anna and Megan were not the only ones who took Jeffrey's side. There were others, too, who vouched for his innocence.
Well, I could not see him as a murderer. I remember in high school, he mentioned so much about how he was not happy with part of his family. So for me to find out that there was a murder on the other side of the family, it's just a little awkward for me. Hope for him is if he does know something, it's better to tell the police than to hide it, no matter what the secret is.
In October 2018, Jeffrey Scullin Jr. was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His lawyer said in court that the reason he had to confess to a crime that he never committed was because of the family and his daughter whom he loved so dearly. Melinda Pleskovic was a loving teacher and devoted mother. Cherished by her students, she also served as the coach of the school's soccer team, inspiring young minds both in and out of the classroom.
She had knee surgery after knee surgery, but she didn't care. She'd keep having done just so she could play one more. She'd bandage up, she'd be exhausted, but if they needed a player on the field, she'd find that jersey and go out on the field.
She would walk into a room and she'd always smile and she'd always find that positive.
Yeah.
I miss her a lot. And there's not a day that passes by without me thinking about her and how she was always a positive person.
Her tragic death left a profound void in the neighborhood where she was deeply mourned. Her students expressed heartfelt sorrow, grieving the loss of their dearest teacher. As we conclude this investigation into the tragic murder of Melinda Pleskovic, we've uncovered numerous inconsistencies and unanswered questions. From Jeffrey Scullin's unwavering confidence in his innocence, the mysterious figure of Spaz, to the overlooked evidence and questionable investigative practices, each piece of this puzzle paints a different picture. His love for his daughter, his willingness to cooperate with the police, and the absence of any clear motive all suggest a different story. Who do you think is behind the crime? Was Jeffrey Scullin wrongfully accused? Could Spaz have been the real culprit? Do you believe the investigation overlooked crucial evidence? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments section below. Your insights could help bring new attention to this case and push for the justice Melinda Pleskovic deserves. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed the video, do leave us a comment with your thoughts. Let us know if you have any cases you'd like us to cover. For more insightful content on real crime psychology, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Real Crime Psychology.